Hi, I'm Bianca, and I'm 30 years old. It's been a while since this happened, but I want to talk about it while the details are still fresh. Let me start from the beginning. The first person I want to introduce is my husband, Matt. We met back in high school. I was a shy kid with a lot of anxiety and had trouble making friends, but for some reason, Matt liked me. We were paired as lab partners in chemistry and started talking. It took a long time for me to open up to Matt, but when I did, he asked me out on a date. Matt was one of the most attractive guys at our school, athletic and smart, so of course I said yes. Our one date turned into many, and the more time I spent with him, the more comfortable I felt. I loved that I could finally express myself around someone. Matt was caring and understanding, never pushing me to do anything that made me uncomfortable. I felt like I had hit the jackpot with him. Now let me introduce you to my mother-in-law, Olivia. She had a tough life. Her husband died when Matt and his brother were very young, so she had to raise them on her own. I always admired how she managed to do that, but she was extremely overprotective, especially of Matt. I realized this when Matt first brought me over to meet his family. Olivia's face twisted into an ugly expression as soon as she saw me, which made me shrink back into myself. From then on, she seemed to have a vendetta against me, always taking the opportunity to say something negative. At first, I tried to ignore it, but it started to get to me because it happened every time I saw her. So I talked to Matt about it. Olivia only spoke that way to me when Matt wasn't around. The next time we were at dinner with his mom, she made a rude comment about my appearance just as Matt was leaving the room. He walked back in and confronted her. "Mom, you can't say things like that." "What are you talking about?" she replied. "Don't play dumb. Both you and I know that you just said something really rude about Bianca's appearance. It was just a little joke, right, Bianca?" "No, it's not a joke," Matt said. "I know you've been doing this for a while. Do you even know how much effort she puts in to impress you, even though you treat her like crap?" "Oh please, there's no need to make a big deal out of nothing. Apologize to her, or I'm leaving and won't contact you again." "Fine, sorry for saying that, Bianca," she said, but I knew Olivia wasn't serious about her apology. But it felt amazing that Matt stood up for me. I was grateful that he had my back no matter what. Even though Olivia continued to behave the same way for years, it became easier to bear knowing that Matt supported me. The next person I'll introduce you to is Trent, Matt's younger brother. Trent was the only other person who made an effort to talk to me. He took an interest in getting to know me, and because he was Matt's family, it was a lot easier to be comfortable around him. We happened to share many interests and got along really well. Matt was really happy that I connected with at least one of his family members. For the longest time, I thought I had made a special friend in Trent, but as I tell you more about the events, you'll see just how wrong I was. The last person I want to introduce is Rachel, Trent's wife, and my sister-in-law. Rachel was the type of person who would bend over backwards to please someone, no matter if they were right or wrong. When she met Olivia for the first time, they got to talking, and Rachel pretty much agreed with every negative view Olivia had about me. Before long, Rachel became Olivia's partner in everything they did against me. That really hurt. Rachel didn't even know me and never made an effort to get to know me, but she disliked me simply because Olivia did. Over time, I learned to let go of it. Matt and I decided to get married once we were both financially stable. That took about 3 years after graduating college. Once we had well-paying jobs and were able to purchase a house, we decided to tie the knot. Of course, Olivia was not happy about that. She tried to sabotage our relationship in many ways while we were engaged. For example, she tried to convince Matt that he was settling for me without ever dating anyone else, and even tried to set him up on dates with other women. Matt flatly disagreed with her. That one really hurt. I knew Olivia didn't like me, but to actively try to make her son cheat on me was deeply wrong. Matt spent days reassuring me that he would never cheat and would never listen to anything his mother said about me. I knew he wouldn't, but just the fact that Olivia was trying to get him to hurt. At our wedding, Olivia pulled another stunt to disrupt the good mood. When it was her turn to make a toast, she began talking about how her son was marrying a woman she disapproved of and genuinely hoped he would come to his senses soon and leave me. I cried, obviously, but Matt was furious. He had Olivia kicked out, and for the rest of the night, he never left my side. That incident led us to cut off contact with Olivia. We didn't speak to her except during the holidays for the next 2 years. We only saw her at Trent's wedding. We tried our best to avoid her because we were happy for Trent and wanted to celebrate his big day. Somehow, Olivia managed to corner us and asked to talk. Matt didn't want to give her a chance, but I asked him to let her speak. After all, we could hear her out without accepting what she said. "Look, I just wanted to say that I'm really sorry for everything I said that day at your wedding," Olivia began. Matt responded, "If you were really sorry, you would have come to our place and apologized. You had 2 years to do it, but you never did." I was embarrassed. There was no excuse for my behavior on my son's big day. I should have realized that if my son was happy, I should have been happy too. I guess I just didn't have the courage to face you. Okay, but we did call you on holidays and your birthday. Even if you couldn't apologize face to face, you could have done it over the phone," Matt pointed out. "It was just very hard for me, but I'm owning up to my mistake. I'm sorry. I'm still angry with you, and if Bianca doesn't forgive you, we'll go back to how we've been these past 2 years," Matt declared. I appreciated that Matt let me have a say in it. Unfortunately, I was very big on keeping family close, so I told her I forgave her. I didn't want Matt to be estranged from his only parent. Olivia seemed very grateful, and for a while, she treated me well. Then, about a year later, she went back to her old ways. This time, Rachel joined her. They would constantly mock me, no matter what I said or did. They always found a way to make fun of me. I tried my best to let things go and kept Matt calm too. I knew that if either of us said or did anything, it would end with us cutting all ties with Olivia, and I didn't want that. One weekend, Matt and I were rudely interrupted by Olivia, Rachel, and Trent. It was supposed to be a relaxing weekend, but we were startled by banging on the front door. I lazily made my way to the door, and as soon as I opened it, Olivia and Rachel pushed past me and walked in, followed by Trent. Each of them held a box that looked heavy. As Matt walked over to the living room, I could see he was just as confused as I was. "What's going on? What are you guys holding?" he asked. "This right here is proof," Olivia declared. "Proof of what?" Matt asked. "Of Bianca having an affair," Olivia said. "Excuse me? What makes you think I've been having an affair?" I asked, shocked. "I always knew there was something wrong with you, and I wasn't alone." Rachel felt the same way too. "I mean, at every family gathering, you suddenly had work. Once or twice, it's fine, but every single time? That's suspicious," Olivia accused. "It's not suspicious. I'm literally an on-call nurse. You guys just happen to be there whenever I get called. And I get called in other times too," I explained. "Wow, you're bold. You're lying right to our faces when we have proof," Rachel interjected. "Matt, I swear I haven't ever cheated on you. I don't know what proof they have. But I promise you it's not me," I pleaded. "Calm down, Bianca. It's okay. I doubt you'd ever cheat on me. I'm just curious to see what Mom and Rachel found," Matt said. "Believe me, your views about your wife are about to change once you see this." "How did you even get this evidence?" I demanded. "Rachel and I hired a private investigator who followed Bianca around for the last 6 months," Olivia explained. "We just got the evidence from the PI's office and came here straight away. That's beyond creepy and violating. What the hell is wrong with you guys?" Matt exclaimed. "You have no say in anything, you cheating piece of crap," Rachel snapped. "Enough. Let Bianca and I see the evidence," Matt commanded. I was furious. What had I ever done to these two? I had always stayed out of their way, and yet they tried to come between Matt and me. Hiring a private investigator to follow me around for 6 months was beyond deranged. I was more than curious to see what this so-called evidence was. Matt looked at me, and for a moment, we had a silent understanding that everything was going to be okay. Matt knew I could never cheat on him. My social anxiety was almost crippling. It took a long time for me to get comfortable with someone. He knew firsthand how hard it had been for him to get me to even talk to him. The last thing I could possibly do was talk to some stranger and sleep with him. Working as an on-call nurse had helped me manage my anxiety, but I still shut down for hours after work. Matt had seen and dealt with all of that from the start of our relationship. I had always thought I would be single forever, so when the universe gave me the perfect guy, why would I do something so horrible to him? We opened one of the boxes and saw a large number of pictures and some investigators' notes paired with them, but none of the pictures had any clear faces. The woman did look shockingly like me. For a second, my heart dropped. I turned to look at Matt, and his face had drained of color. I began panicking, searching the pictures for any signs that might prove it wasn't me. I could hear Olivia and Rachel sniggering behind me. I was close to giving up and crying until I came across one picture where the girl had a tattoo on her right arm. I had known tattoos. I showed the picture to Matt, and his fear turned to confusion. It was like we were speaking in a silent language. We knew we had to figure out whose pictures we were looking at. We opened the other two boxes and began scouring through those pictures and notes. That's when, in one of the notes, the investigator mentioned me getting into a car with a particular license plate. The license plate looked very familiar, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it, so I showed it to Matt. He took one look at it and burst out laughing. All of us stared at him in confusion. Matt then leaned down to my ear and whispered whose car it was. I was so shocked that I couldn't help but burst out laughing too. Olivia, Rachel, and Trent looked very confused now, waiting for either Matt or me to explain what we were laughing about. But that never happened because Matt and I kept going through the pictures, lacking even more. Olivia and Rachel were visibly irritated and spoke up. "What's going on? Why are you guys laughing at the proof of Bianca cheating?" "Yeah, are you one of those couples that don't mind a third person?" Rachel added snidely. "Oh God, no, absolutely not," Matt replied. "We just found out something really, really funny." "What could possibly be funny about cheating?" Olivia asked incredulously. "Oh, that's not me in the pictures," I explained. "Yes, it is. We looked through a couple of the pictures, and it's definitely you," Olivia insisted. "Look at this one picture. See the tattoo on the girl's hand?" I pointed out. "Yeah," Olivia responded. "Bianca doesn't have any tattoos," Matt said. "What if it was a temporary one she put on to avoid getting recognized?" Rachel suggested. "I hate having tattoos on me. I've never even put on a temporary tattoo," I clarified. "Okay, well, we made a mistake. What's so funny about that?" Olivia asked, still irritated. "What's funny is the identity of the man in these pictures," Matt said. "You can barely make out who that is." "How do you know who he is?" Rachel retorted. "Because of the investigator's notes. Here, take a look at that car plate. Do the numbers look familiar?" Matt handed them the paper. Rachel grabbed the paper out of Matt's hand, and Olivia and Trent gathered around her to read it. As soon as they read it, their expressions changed dramatically. Olivia's eyes widened in shock, Rachel's face went white, and Trent began sweating profusely. "You see, the number plate belongs to Trent's car," Matt revealed. "And the more you look through the pictures, the more you can clearly see that the man is Trent." Matt passed the pictures over where Trent's face was almost clearly visible, save for either a mask or a pair of sunglasses that he used to cover his face. Now, I didn't know why Trent was cheating on Rachel, but it was satisfying to see Rachel's world crumble the way she wanted mine to. I decided to let Olivia and Rachel start the drama. I retreated and stood next to Matt, trying her hardest not to break into laughter. "Trent, what is this? Are you cheating on me?" Rachel demanded. "Listen, I can explain," Trent stammered. "Are you serious? This is not how I raised you," Olivia exclaimed. "I'm sorry, but I never loved Rachel to begin with," Trent admitted. "What? Why? What did I do that was so wrong?" Rachel asked, devastated. "You didn't do anything wrong, Rachel. I was just in love with someone else from the start," Trent confessed. "Who was it?" Rachel asked, her voice shaking. "Bianca," Trent revealed. "What? Excuse me? What the hell is wrong with you?" Matt exploded. "Man, really? You were in love with Bianca? You chose this ugly witch over me? Why? Since when?" Rachel was in disbelief. "I've been in love with her since Matt introduced her to us. She was just so beautiful and calm and quiet. I don't know, I liked that. Plus, when she did get comfortable enough with me, I found out that we shared a lot of the same interests," Trent explained. "Oh God, I'm going to be sick. So you found someone who looked just like Bianca?" Rachel asked, horrified. "I knew you guys were already trying to ruin their marriage. I sort of hoped I could speed it up, and if they did get divorced, I could swoop in and have her," Trent admitted. "First of all, she is not some property that you can have. Secondly, get the hell out of my house. You are sick and twisted and beyond any help. I hope you rot. Never come back, never speak to me or Bianca again. As for you guys, Mom and Rachel, I want you out too," Matt demanded. "But we didn't even do anything," Olivia protested. You did enough. I entertained your little game, but now I am done. It's beyond disgusting that you hired someone to follow my wife around so you could try and break up my marriage. I want nothing to do with any of you. Out, Matt commanded. I couldn't even begin to describe how queasy I felt. That was the last thing I expected. I just remember Matt holding me until I started breathing regularly. I was disgusted by the way Trent saw me. I had only gotten comfortable with him because he was the only one in Matt's family who actually tried to get to know me. But to find out that he had made that effort because he wanted me was beyond disgusting. Matt was not feeling any better. He was fuming. He couldn't believe that his own brother was capable of being such a creep. He promised me that he would stand by any decision I made regarding everything that happened. I obviously wanted zero contact with all of them, especially Trent. I never wanted to see his face ever again. Of course, Trent did try to reach out to me about a month after everything had happened. He actually tried to convince me to leave his brother again. I later found out that he had sent those messages to me after he had gotten divorced and lost everything he had to Rachel. I had blocked him right away then, but when I think back on it now, it's amazing that he possessed that amount of audacity. Anyway, I had to go back to therapy for a while after that incident. I needed a place to vent about my feelings, and since it concerned his brother, Matt would get too wound up about it. He too went to therapy to sort his feelings out. It's been about a year since all of that happened. Matt and I have moved on and are living full and happy lives. We haven't seen or heard from Olivia or Rachel since then. I hope, if nothing else, that they learn to never meddle in anyone else's life. Back then, I was a mess after finding out what Trent thought about me, but now I'm at a place where I can laugh at it. I'm glad I came out of it strong, and even more glad that Matt and I's relationship also grew stronger. Always make sure to be kind to all those in your life.